So my project for today is to cut this piece of plywood that goes here, kind of matching what's out here. I don't know if I'll get it painted today, but had the guys come out from the HVAC system, and we found out that I figured out that it was this drain that was plugged. That was why I was getting water all over the floor. Luckily it wasn't a hot water heater. But I didn't know where this goes, and he was saying, oh, it's going to come out wherever the condenser line comes in at. So he put a shop vac on the other end once we found it and sucked it clean. So I'm like, okay, well now in the future I know how I'm going to do that. So that was good. Oh, a little while ago I was talking about these love bugs. It's that time of year again, and these guys are like everywhere. So as I'm out walking around and doing things, they're like, you can see them flying around. They're on the posts. They like white apparently. So they're on all of that kind of stuff. You just kind of deal with it. But so what we found is the other end of the drain. And see, these love bugs are going crazy out here. So it's coming out of that brick right there. You can see it kind of drizzling out. I opened the drain area up, kind of gave it a grade so that it can go down. Hopefully it won't back up like it was before, but it just had jelly in it. So it was just a bunch of algae and stuff growing up inside of it. So I set up a spot in the yard over by the shed where I was storing the plywood, where I can cut that sheet of plywood. So it's out there ready for me to cut. Just need to grab a saw and finish the line. I'm going to hand cut that one. I don't know if I want to try and wrestle with that on one of my table saws. It's just got to be 31 inches long and 35 inches. So 31 by 35, and then I'll seal up that hole. And of course, once I get a good project going in the afternoon, it starts raining. Mostly blue skies up there. But yeah, so I'll just move everything inside here and work in the shop. I got one more cut to make, I think. So yeah, now it's a question of, do I make a dash for it or do I wait? The radar is saying that it's not really raining here much, so it must be a really small spot. You can certainly hear it on the roof though. And everything's now wet. I'm glad I moved inside as quick as I did. But yeah, maybe it'll rinse all those love bugs off the house. Yeah, always a positive way to look at things. So we'll see how this turns out. I think I'll wait here a couple minutes, see how it goes. I suppose I could take that piece of plywood I just cut, hold it over my head, and use it as an umbrella. It's always an option too. But, yeah, we'll see. I turned the fan on in here too, so you may hear some of that. It's still raining pretty good, but I'm going to go stand here in the fan and cool off. You know, the bonus is there's a lot fewer love bugs out, so there's always good news. Alright, well, I finally got that installed. Looks pretty good. I don't know if I need to like seam tape it or caulk it or something. It whistles a little bit, but should definitely keep the critters out and whatnot, so that's a good thing. You know, it's almost ironic. I had the guys come out to look at the drain. This is actually not a PVC pipe. This is copper. So underneath this is copper. I came home and the compressor's running constantly. This is the radiator, so it's iced. It won't even let any air flow through that. And it's kind of hard to see, but this isn't supposed to wobble freely like that. It's actually supposed to let me get my flashlight. Yeah, it was making a lot of vibrating noise yesterday, and that fan went. Probably was so off balance that it finally threw the whole thing off. But yeah, we've got issues. So what do you do when there's no air conditioning? You just finished doing a lot of work outside on a warm day. Well, I guess you hit the pool. So I'm going to relax in here for a little while. Karen and Cody are still off. They were doing the Artemis launch today, so it's Saturday, which got scrubbed. But Cody has a bunch of friends that he likes to meet with that are all into the space nerd stuff, as he calls it. So they're off doing that. I think I'm going to hang out in the pool for a little while. Might get cleaned up and go grab something at Culver's. I don't know. Either that or make something here. Not really in the mood to cook, though, so we'll see. So hopefully later today, they say by 7, I should have I think they call it a blower wheel for the furnace. It looks like what happened, let's see if I can get this. There's a wire here that, here, let me flip around. Yeah, you can see him bouncing around there. So what actually is going on is that is up in there the heater core, or the heating element, if you will. So there's supposed to be coils of wire. This wire here, I think, got sucked into the blower wheel. I'm trying to get my terminologies right. And the blower wheel's down here. But what happened is it got looped around this and caught and wedged it. So now this hub is supposed to be attached to the wheel itself. But that isn't the case anymore. It cut loose. And when that happened, it jammed the fan. So now I got to see if I can replace that. The home warranty folks, they supposedly are going to fix this thing, but they need approval upon approval and prove to me that it's broke, and let's make sure that we can do it the cheapest way and keep us out. So it's been a week since we've had air conditioning here in Florida. Not complaining, it's just kind of frustrating. So here's the wire, that heating element that hangs out. It looks like it just kind of broke off and went up into this. So what I'm going to do, I think, just to get air going again, is I'm going to cut that wire and do that. It looks like this heating element is only about $150. And we'll get that going again. You can kind of see where that wire grabbed on these, and that's what separated them from here. And really kind of just chewed the whole thing up. So I'm going to see if I can't get this hub off and get ready for the fan. The fan should be here a little later today. Well, I got the fan out. I think they're supposed to be straight like this. Not not blown out like that, and not swollen like that. Seems to be a bit of an issue. And this is the hub that came off of it. So yeah, it's a little mushed. So I think the hub connected here because there's a bit of an offset. So we'll see when the new one shows up how it goes. Got bits of a spring that fell out. Not sure where those go. We'll find out. It looks like I finally get to use my new anvil. This is some kind of a guard inside that HVAC, the blower wheel area, and it got bent. I think there's pins that go into those sockets and then out into the housing, but I want to get this straight, so I figured this would actually be perfect. If I just set him on there like that, I should be able to tap him down. But I can't do that and hold the camera, so I'll show you the end results. There. Should be a little bit better. At least it's a little straighter. I don't think it has to be perfect. It's just an air diffuser of some kind. So, yeah, there we go. So, yay, my replacement fan showed up. So I will get that installed and get the blower going. Hopefully I can have air conditioning tonight. And then when the AC guy shows up on Tuesday, he can replace the heating element and make sure that I got this done. And I'll have him check for whatever the flap thing is supposed to be doing. I may not put that in because I'd hate to have it destroy another fan shroud. Anyway, off to get this done. All right, so there is the fan housing, blower wheel housing, I guess. Reinstalled. I tidied up and dressed all of the wiring. I just need to put the cover back on so if the sparks fly, they'll be contained in here. I think I've got all the wires dressed so they can't get into the fan or shroud. This is Duke's mess. We're gonna have them come out and remove that if they can. And yeah, there it is. So let's give this a whirl. Oh, yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention, finally figured out where the air filter goes. Yeah, it was a little clogged. So hopefully we'll get a little bit better efficiency out of our air conditioning system now that I've changed the filter out and secured that board on the side. So now we should be getting much more direct air from the inside instead of from the garage. All right, so just to follow up, Matthew came out and he's a great AC guy. He got the new heating element. Turned out the heating element that we had in there probably was an aftermarket, so somebody really kind of Frankenstein this whole system. It's a ream in here and there's something else, carrier I think is the piece that's outside. It's a bit of a mess, but at least now it all works. The blower wheel is functioning well and haven't tested the heater yet. We'll probably find out after our warranty expires for the house, but everything seems to be working great now. With the new air filter in and everything, it seems like the efficiency has gone up quite a bit. And that piece of metal, that diffuser or deflector I was talking about that I straightened out on my my rail, turns out that shouldn't have been installed. It was to kind of reduce the amount of airflow if you had an under or a 2-ton unit-ish. This AC unit here is 4 tons. So it shouldn't have even been in there. So I'm glad that we kind of went through some of this. We've gotten a little bit more fine-tuned on this. At some point, I probably want to replace the whole system because it is about 20 years old now. And then get this water heater replaced also. Not inexpensive, but they make these all with heat pumps, and I guess heat pump is the way to go now. But anyway, good news. All back up and running. Seems to be rock solid again.